I want to thank you guys for joining me for today's Coffee with Keisha. We are excited to have you as always. Today's message is going to be a little bit funny, but I hope it challenges you to think about you. One of our mottos, or our motto at Maximize Results Group, is do you to the max. So on today, I want you to recognize areas that you can do you. The title of today's lesson is The Proof is in the Putting. Not pudding, putting. 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 Got it? That was my articulate way of putting that. And this came about because when you opened up your eyes this morning, you were presented with a choice before you ever got out of bed. Before your feet hit the floor, before the kids called your name, before you were trying to decide what you were going to wear, before any of that even came about. And you may not even realize you were making this choice. It was subconscious. Now I'm looking at you, I got you thinking, Anna. You're like, what? Before I brushed my teeth and before I found my clothes, what choice did I have to make this morning? And the choice is simple. You either chose to change or stay the same. You chose to change or stay the same. I'm going to say that one more time because I see some faces. You're challenging me. You chose to change or stay the same. And if you're ever saying, you know, I chose to change. I'm changing today. I'm gonna do this today or whatever. Let me make it real for you. Okay? If your goal is to lose weight, but you chose to eat those Krispy Kreme donuts on yesterday, or you chose not to exercise, or you chose not to drink your water, guess what you chose by default? To stay the same. Don't throw anything at me. Don't get mad. Or if you are telling everyone you're saving for retirement because you want to retire at the ripe age of 55 and you want to do this and you want to do that and you're preparing and diversifying your portfolio, that's what you're saying. But you snuck and bought a suit yesterday and it's still hanging in your closet that was on sale that you had to have. And that was money that you set aside to invest this month. What'd you choose? Stay the same. Think about that a minute. You chose to stay the same. If your goal is to run a successful business, you're an entrepreneur and you're making it happen, and you're excited about having a cutting edge business that's gonna provide whatever product or service to the community, and you're excited about it, you're paying for advertising and you're doing all that. But on last night, instead of researching or looking at your books, you were watching The Late Show. Or you decided to cut some corners and not do what you were supposed to do, or you didn't necessarily call that client back because your show was coming on, or you were on the telephone, or somebody wanted to go out and, you know, shoot some pool or do whatever. What'd you choose? Stay the same. So when we hear the saying, I know a lot of you are familiar with the proof is in the pudding. The DDING, like the Jell-O pudding, vanilla, chocolate. And I used to hear my grandma always say that, and she even said it different because she said the pudding. You didn't have a G on it. It was the proof is in the pudding, baby. Proof's in the pudding. And I didn't know what she meant. And I figured out a little bit later. You know, everything that was put into that little box was in the box before I got the product. You know, we just had to add the mix. The pudding had everything already in it to preserve it. The sugar to make it taste good, the vanilla, the chocolate to make it flavorful, or whatever your flavor is. All of that was already put in the pudding box. Y'all following me? So when I got the box, the pudding was already done. Okay, now if you're wondering what does that mean for you? Okay? It means you're putting your stuff into your own box. Let's personalize it. You're the box. Use your imagination here with me. Whether or not you're reading the right things, whether or not you're listening to the right things, whether or not you're doing the right things, is your putting. Every day you're choosing with the 24 hours that you have in a particular day, 168 hours that you have in a week, you are deciding every day what to put into your box. Here's the thing, let's personalize a little bit more. What to put into your life, what to put into your marriage, what to put into your finances, what to put into your family. And what you put in will determine the outcome. So there's no shortcut. So if I were to go get a box of pudding, or at least I thought it was, but really it was just powdered other stuff, when I put my milk in it and I whipped it up for it to chill, I wouldn't have to be a genius to find out I had a counterfeit. I wouldn't have to be a genius to figure out something ain't right here. Have you ever got a product and you thought it was one thing and it's supposed to taste a certain way and something was missing, something wasn't right, or somebody, how about make it personal, somebody made something for you. Somebody cooked you something and it looked so good, you know, maybe macaroni and cheese, because everybody got their own favorite macaroni and cheese dish. And macaroni and cheese have to be just right. I'm talking just the right amount of cheese, butter, milk, all cooked, bubbly, right, you know. Macaroni and cheese, when it's right, you know it. I know you're hungry because I'm hungry. Macaroni and cheese, when it's right, it's right. But when it's wrong, you don't have to be a genius to know it's wrong. I've had some people who know I like macaroni and cheese fix it for me, and I'm like, ooh, you know, just salivating because it looks so good. Put a forkful in my mouth. Thank you. Not interested in that because something ain't right. Something's not in there. It didn't take me long. I don't know what it was. I may not have been able to determine if it wasn't enough butter or not enough salt. I may not know what's missing, but I know something is because the result was wrong. Another one, banana pudding. Can y'all tell I'm hungry? Banana pudding. You know, ever had banana pudding with the wrong cookies? Now, I'm not going to promote a company because they don't give me any kickbacks. But you know when you got those right cookies. It ain't but 1 or 2 rights. But the little ones that you used to could get the 2 bags for $1.29, don't make a banana pudding with that. Because when you put it in your mouth, the cookies, you're like, this is not, this is a wasted banana, wasted cream. Because you can taste it and you realize it's not there. So now that you got a little bit of the analogy with the food, you know, I like banana pudding and I like macaroni and cheese. Let's look at you. When you come in the room or you enter the equation, what are people getting? You may look good. You may smell good. You may have all the trappings of someone who has it together. You might even be able to mask the reality of what you really are. But guess what? You can only fake the funk for a little while. Because the truth is going to come out when you least expect it. So what you're putting in, how you're taking your time, what you're creating, what you're sowing into, what you are allowing to be the priority or the values in your life, what you're saying are important to you, what you're saying that matters, the things that you're wrapping your life all around, be it right or wrong, will be evident. Because the proof is in the pudding. If I want to, you know, go to new levels in business, if I want to, you know, change career, say I wanted to be an attorney or say I wanted to be a doctor, the only way I could do any of that is to put in what they know, put in what they do, put in the hours of training, put it in. Because that's the only way I can get the reward or the benefit of any of those changes. So ask yourself, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want to achieve? And so many people make the mistake of comparing. Well, I want to be like so-and-so and so. No. What do you want? Why? Where do you want to go? You want to take a vacation. You know, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What are the things that are important to you? How are you going to take that? Because if you want to take a vacation, like I have a family, I'm 3 kids, a husband, and a dog. It's amazing now. We want to plan a vacation. I got to figure out what to do with the dog. I have to put into some thoughts of mine, what are we going to do with it? Who's going to feed the dog? I have to put that in. So look at your life right now. What are your goals? What are your goals? Is it to lose weight? Is it to be healthier? What are you putting into that? What are you doing? You can't expect a healthier life if you're not putting in the requirements of a healthy lifestyle. You know, you want to be financially independent. What are you putting into your bank accounts? What are you putting into your investments? What are you putting in your mind so that you can get the results that you desire? You want a happier family. What are you putting in your family? What are you putting in communication? What are you putting in time together? What are you putting in your family dynamics when you guys are all together? What are you putting? Think about it. The area of your life is not like you want it to be. You know, the area of your life that's challenging you. What are you putting in you to work on that? You know, we all want people to just come and wave the magic wand over our money. You know, I want all my debts gone. I want all the credit cards paid. I want a good interest rate on this. I want a great credit report. We want to wave the wand of magic to fix all the stuff that we put in to get what we've got. So if you've created that already and you want change in those particular areas, be it your credit score, what are you putting into fixing that? This is your part. This requires participation. It requires something that you have to do. What are you putting into your life that's going to help you create the life you want to live? Think about it for a moment. Chew on that just a little bit. Because it's always so easy to say what somebody else needs to put into you, what somebody else needs to do. What do you need to do? You know, I want you to own your life. The proof of what you are putting in is in the results that you have. What you've put in so far is what you've got right now. So whatever you've put into your marriage has netted you the marriage that you got today. Whatever you put into your children has netted you the children that you have today. If they're acting crazy like they don't know, what have you put into them? Discipline. Have you put discipline into them? Have you put understanding into them? Have you put structure into them? So when they're acting crazy, what have you put into them? Think about that. I want you to take responsibility for your role in creating the life that you want. We're often talking about a life by design, a life that's wonderful, a life that's flourishing, a life that's increasing, a life that's good. What are you putting in you to create that? What are you putting into your time? Every one of us have 24 hours a day. You know, doesn't matter last name. It doesn't matter what side of the tracks you're on. What are you putting in that 24 hours? I don't really even care where you came from or what your record is or what you've done or what you've missed. Instead of staying on that and being held up on that, decide to put something new in and get some different results. It's so easy to change what you have by just changing your putting.
Coffee with Keisha is intimate moments of conversation with coffee and friends. It's a time of self-reflection, guidance, and direction for your journey. It's about women empowering women to become their very best. And it's all free of charge. We hope to see you at the next Coffee with Keisha.
I tell people all the time that here's what you need to realize. On today, you were presented with the same choice you had yesterday. On tomorrow, you're going to be presented with the same choice you had today. And most people don't realize tomorrow's going to come. You can predict that. Unless there's a mighty act of God, tomorrow's coming. And even then it's coming. It's just going to determine where you're going to be. But tomorrow is coming. You can bank on that. Sun's going to come up in the morning, just like it came up today. You can bank on that. You can bank on that. So if you know it's going to come, because it always comes, what are you going to put into making your tomorrow better? What are you going to do differently with your time? What are you going to do differently? You know, what do you need to change? What do you need to put into you? What do you need to add to you? What do you need to put in you to get rid of some of the stuff that you need to take out of you? What are you putting? The true indicators of the condition of your family is truly based on what you put into your life today. That's something you can control. There's a whole lot in this world we can't control. But your actions, what you put into your mind, You have total control over that. We all do. And it's so easy for us to look around and say, you know, if she had or he hadn't, or if they didn't, or if this would have been different, or if I hadn't had this, or that, you know what? We all have that to say. Every one of us. But what are you going to do? How are you going to make changes? What can you put into you? And I'm standing on that word because put means it's a process. You know, just like you have to put on your clothes, just like you have to put on your shoes. Women, we put on our makeup, concealer, and everything else that we need to. We have to put that on. You're going to have to decide to put into your life. I just can't wear Linda's foundation. Linda is true beige. I can't put that on me. So I have to figure out what I need to put on me. I can't wear pink lipstick. It's beautiful on Tina, but on me, I look like a clown. So I have to figure out what I have to put in for my journey. Jackie has to know what she has to put on for her. What does she need to be putting inside of her? What does she need to be putting into her relationships? What does she need to be putting into the things that she wants to change into her life? Everyone's life is different. So you have to be able to identify the missing ingredients for you. What's missing? What haven't you quite got your mind wrapped around? What's challenging you? What keeps cropping up? You thought you got rid of, you thought you worked on, you thought you had a solution for, but you keep turning around and Wally, here it is again. What is that? You have to identify that, because so often you can't treat symptoms with the right medicine if you haven't identified what the symptoms are. Does that make sense? Think about it. Because you can say, well, you know, I kind of feel It's almost like a muscle. I don't know if it's a muscle spasm or if I pull something. You know, I don't know what I need. Pretty safe to say I don't need anything for indigestion. If I'm talking about a muscle strain or something going on, I have to first identify the challenge or identify the problem area or the pain. That's good. The pain in your life. Where you hurting? You know, I remember when I played sports and I was good. I played volleyball, ran track, softball. I still can do all that. I just don't need to prove it to you. That I would stretch out or like get something going the wrong direction. And you know how you put the icy hot on? You know, it's freezing, then it's hot. You know, you got to go through all the emotions. I wouldn't be treating this over here. What good would it do me to rub that on this leg if this is where the pain is? But we want to watch what our friends are doing and whatever medication they're taking to fix their solution, we want to put that on us. You better on your own. Figure out, you know, look in the mirror. What keeps plaguing you? What keeps bothering you? What just won't seem to go away? So I can't put Jackie's medicine on me. She doesn't know my symptoms because I'm only allowing Jackie to see what I want her to see. So there could be some internal stuff that Jackie don't see. She don't even know about. I don't talk about that stuff. But that's the stuff I need to be putting in solutions for. My 24 hours a day, there should be an indicator in there somewhere of me putting something into that trouble area. If you got some things that's challenging you, your attitude stinking, you're complaining or just whatever, you need to be putting something in you to help that. Ain't no need to be ashamed of it. The condition is the condition. So what are you going to do to fix that? What are you going to put on that? What are you going to put in that? How are you going to fix that? How are you going to correct that? Identify what you need to be putting something on. And you're sitting here today and you're like, oh yeah, that'd be this. Oh, my cousin Tina really should be hearing this because she need to be putting this on and she need to be putting this on. And matter of fact, even her brother Larry. Let me tell you what Larry need to be doing. Larry needs to put this on. And even my cousin Gina. Gina need to. No, stop. They're not here. You are. They're not watching. You are. What do you need to be putting on? If you spent less time worrying about Larry, Gina, Bob, and Tina, and more time worrying about you and what you were putting on, you wouldn't have so much time to be criticizing them and what they're not doing. Because at the end of the day, you're responsible for you. What they put on or they don't put on, or what they take off or they don't take off, that has absolutely nothing to do with you. That has nothing to do with your checking account. That has nothing to do with your marriage. That has nothing to do with your health and wellness. That has nothing to do with your future. You're giving them the power of your future because you're spending all of your mental energy putting it on them. What could you do if you took an ounce of that and put it on you? On your mess? On that out of balance checkbook? That bracketed checking account? That marriage, because y'all ain't talking? Those children that's acting crazy? Your house that you want, when somebody ring the doorbell, you cut the lights out because you don't want anybody to come in. What could you be doing? That 20 pounds you've been losing for 10 years? What could you do if you took an ounce of that and put it on that? What could you do? You're spending your time, your valuable time. And y'all know me. I tell it all the time, every time I get a chance to talk. Money really is not the most precious commodity. Time is. Anybody ever been without money? Yes. Did you stay without or did you do something about it? You fixed it. You got you some money. You got a job. You took care of what you had to take care of. Time, I don't care what you do. Can't get it back. Cannot rewind the clock. I know I look like I'm 20. I'm not quite anymore. But you know what? That's good foundation, good makeup. But I can't ever be 20 again. Stop trying to figure out how old I am because that ain't none of your business. But I can look like it, but I can put on the right stuff. But I can't turn the clock back. Time is gone. 15 years, 20 years, you look up and it's gone. And you put all your energy, you put all your resources, you put all your time, you put all your money, you put all of you into something that will net you no return. It doesn't get you any closer to your goals. It doesn't get you any closer to your dreams. It doesn't get you any closer to being out of debt. You just wasted all your putting power on somebody else. So again, ask yourself, and you got your pen and paper, jot down, what do you need to be putting into you for whatever it is you are dealing with? What do you need to put into you to fix some of these challenges, to fix some of these problems? What do you need to put into you today so that when January 2009 comes around, you'll be in a different place? What do you need to put into your calendar now to help you focus? What do you need to be taking off of your calendar that's putting too much negative energy on you? What can you do today? What can you put into your life right now? Put into your mind right now? Put into your heart right now? What can you put into you to change you? The proof really is in the putting. The proof is in the pudding. The decision, the verdict, the outcome, the results, all of that is in your hands. Based on your choice, you have the ability to predict the outcome. What is it going to be? What is it going to be? What can making a few changes in your life, a few changes in your choices, a few changes in your pudding, what can it create for you? You know, what can it do for you? And if you've identified what it can do for you, if you've been able to identify the benefit of it, what's stopping you? Get off of your putter and put something in. What's stopping you? What are you waiting for? What do you need? I, Keisha Spivey, hereby give you permission to put something in you. If you need you want me to sign on the dotted line, what do you need to become that person that you keep talking about? One day, just maybe, get off of your putter. What do you need? Do you need someone to tell you that you can? You can. Do you need someone to tell you that you are capable? You're capable. You need someone to tell you that you are worth it? You're worth it. Okay. Now what do you need? There's nothing in between you and what you want but your pudding. What are you going to do? What actions are you going to take? So it's my desire that you that you leave for today with a new perspective. If only one thing you can change. Don't leave out here making promises to yourself, lying to yourself that you're going to add 20 new things to your to-do list on tomorrow. Don't spare yourself. What's one thing you can do? If it's your weight loss, maybe it's cut back on the sweets. Maybe it's drink more. What's one thing you can do in your marriage? What's one thing you can do with your children? With your finances? What's one thing you can do? Don't make this deep. Don't make it difficult. What is one thing that you can put into your life that can change it? What's one thing? The proof is in your pudding. The proof is in your pudding. I want you to do something with me. I want to get a little bit of class participation. I want you to just close your eyes for a moment. Close your eyes for a moment, and I want you to concentrate on that one thing in your life that's bothering you. That if I did have a magic wand up here that I could wave, that would be the area you want me to wave it over. Think about that one area. Get all the other stuff off your mind. Clear it out. One area. Identify that one area. Now, tell yourself what's one thing you can do to work on that. Tell yourself one thing. One thing. One commitment you can make. One step you could take. Something that you can implement into your daily routine like today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next year, but something that you can begin today with. Something that you can do. A small step. A small step that you can take to make change in that one area. And I see you smiling, so I guess you guys know what that one area is. I see you smiling. So you've already figured out what you need to do. So my next question is, you can open up your eyes now, because all of you know I saw you smiling. I was looking at you the whole time. You all know what it is, don't you? You all know what it is. You've identified it. You've given it a name. It's something that you can do, something that you can control.